Hey, Tony.
How you doing, Charlie?
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
You got it on mute.
Oh, I've got it on mute. Oops. No, Mike.
No, I hear you. I think you maybe higher your volume, Charlie.
How's that?
I hear you. I hear you fine, Tony.
What am I doing wrong?
I hear you just fine.
You hear me fine? Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay. Charlie.
Okay.
Hi, Jenny.
How are you, Tony?
Not too bad. How about you?
We're good. It was
Good.
such a nice day here today. Oh,
I don't hear anybody.
That's good.
uh-oh. So we have
Shut off the fan.
oh, I turned it down. Put it down a couple of turns. That's all.
Want the light up, overhead light on?
Yes.
Remove
That's
that.
too much.
Lock
Turn it down more. Mm.
Jimmy Hart.
Hi.
You okay?
No, it's on mute. I can't get it off.
Oh, it just bounced. All right, I see the mute. And then down the bottom left corner of your screen, does it have a thing to unmute? Because my microphone, when you're on mute, has a line that goes through it.
We can hear Charlie
All
though.
right, now it's clear.
Okay, so you're good? I'm gonna hang up so we don't get feedback.
All right, am I hearing you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna hang up. How
All right,
about now?
I hung up. I can hear you.
We can hear you, Charlie.
Do I hear you now?
Yeah. Can you hear us? Charlie, you okay? Can you hear me?
Maybe it's your volume button.
Yeah,
That could be, yeah. Tell him to turn his volume up.
okay.
I think
You
I'm
remember
okay
having to run
now.
down the street.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Wait.
Try your volume, Charlie.
He can't hear us.
No, I can hear everybody now.
Oh.
It's just that I have a big screen now and I'm trying to get out of that.
Hit the escape button on your keyboard in the top corner. See if that does. Does that minimize it?
To a degree,
Okay.
but not what I want. It's not what I want.
All right. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Charlie, are you gonna log out and log in?
No, I'll leave it this way.
Okay, all right. Because it is 6 o'clock. Ms. Castro, are you set to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Are there people in the waiting room, Ms. Castro?
We are all set. Everyone that should be on is in.
Everybody's here that should be here. Okay. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Virginia Harger, Chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Wednesday, April 12th, 2023, and the regular meeting of the commission being conducted entirely via Zoom is hereby called to order at 6:01 p.m. The meeting is also being carried live on YouTube. Would everyone please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I invite those participating remotely to do the same. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, I'll start off with roll call. Please verbally indicate you are present when your name is called. Commissioner Kelly,
Present.
Commissioner Motto. Commissioner Motto?
Did you hear me? I'm
No,
here.
not, just a little low. Okay. Commissioner Parkins,
Present?
Commissioner Tiki,
Present.
Commissioner Lascos,
Present.
myself, Commissioner Harger, Commissioner Nafrio. Let's see him. Commissioner Donato.
Here.
Okay, Ms. Castro, our Assistant Administrator,
Present.
Mr. Panico, our Consultant,
Here,
and Ms. Renassos, our Recording Secretary.
Present.
Okay, and I also like to acknowledge that Mr. Bea, our CEO, is also on viewing as well.
Thank you.
Excuse
Okay,
me 1 second. Charlie, you shared your screen.
okay. Are we
We're
good to
good now.
go?
We're good.
Okay,
Yep.
before moving to our first agenda item, which are applications for certificate of zoning compliance, going to take an item out of order. It is other business, comments from the chairwoman, and I'd like to recognize Mayor Loretti.
Give him 1 second to
Sure.
log in, please. Sorry.
Yep. So Mayor Loretti will have the floor when he's connected. Let's see, anybody else? Any progress, Ms. Castro?
He's logging in.
I'm sorry?
He's logging in right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Good.
Is this a phone link or a Zoom?
The Zoom link.
Okay.
Okay.
Sharon, I'm going to give him a call and put him on speakerphone.
Sure, go ahead. Go into the phone. No, 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 down. Down.
Okay, I have mail already.
Good evening, can everyone hear me?
It's a little faint.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's getting a little bit better. Good. Okay, so Loretti, thank you for joining us, and you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're going to take the opportunity to recognize our planning and zoning consultant, Anthony Panico, for over 60 years. Think about that, 60 years. Think about the changes that have occurred since the 1960s until now. It's just incredible that we've had such a steady hand, steady guidance, and a product that has become the envy of the state of Connecticut. Just look around. You know, a lot of people complain about change. You know, change is an inevitable part of life. And if you want to be part of change, to affect change, then you have to be part of it. And so when you look at how the city has evolved over the years, you know, back in the 60s, population was somewhere around 12, 13,000. Today we're 43,000 with a whole host of people that commute into work every day, somewhere upwards of 25,000 people, largely due to the employment opportunities that exist up on Bridgeport Avenue. And you know what? Tony Panico has really been an integral part of all of that. I recall back in 1983 when I was teaching and coaching at Central High School, and I put an application into the Planning and Zoning Commission for a restaurant on 303 Bridgeport Avenue. So both Tony Panico and Nippy Russell gave me such a hard time and told me that I didn't have enough parking, and you know, when you're 26 years old, it's hard to believe what an adult is telling you. But as I look back now, when I got in operation and business, they were absolutely right about the parking requirements for what I was doing. And it's been that type of guidance that we've had from Tony over the years that has given us a lot of success. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to acknowledge the truth, but it is what it is, and facts are facts. And look at the way the city has grown, and to the compatibility of Bridgeport Avenue and surrounding residential neighborhoods. Even the downtown back in the 60s was an industrial hub of employment. When the B.F. Goodrich fire hit in 1975, that was all lost. But look at the evolution that's taken place now. And a lot of it, as I said, is due to the members on our planning and zoning commission and our consultant who gave us good advice, who gave us a steady hand, and it needs to be recognized. So Tony, on behalf of the city, I want to thank you for your involvement and your commitment to the city. 60 years is just unbelievable for anybody to be productive for that period of time. And so congratulations. I know we talked about your succession and your retirement, but we haven't gotten to it yet. So forward march, as they say.
That's for sure. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to share that what you see on the screen is the certificate that had been awarded to Tony, the Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning Agencies, back at the dinner on March 23rd. It was, and I accepted it on his behalf. What we submitted to the Federation was his bio. Tony was one of 5 or 6 people to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. And let me tell you, when the gentleman who was at the podium to read the bios read Tony's, the room literally gasped when we said, Tony is 91 years old and he has been working with the city since for 60 years. And as far as I'm concerned, he is definitely has a diamond kind of rating with me. So I also want to extend my appreciation to the Shelton Herald for printing such a nice story about Tony a couple weeks ago. It is well deserved for sure.
Yay, Tony.
Jenny, to that end, if you look at the decisions that were made 40 years ago with respect to Bridgeport Avenue and the downtown being carved out for economic development for the city's tax stability, that's exactly what we're doing today. But those decisions were made so many years ago. And the foresight that members of the Planning and Zoning Commission had, along with Tony Panico's guidance, have borne excessive fruit for us.
That's for sure.
All right, you guys carry on with your meeting. I know you have a busy agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so Tony, we will get this award down to you by the end of the week.
I appreciate that.
All right, very good. So returning back to our applications for certificate of zoning compliance, I understand from Commissioner Amato that the zoning subcommittee met to review the 3 sign applications. Commissioner Amato, what's the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee for the first one? J Grill, 67 Howe Avenue, for a sign. Is Commissioner Amato there?
I believe her connection is weak.
Unknown caller.
Commissioner Amato, are you in the vicinity?
She emailed that her connection was lost.
Oh, okay.
It shows her as logged in, but give me
Right.
1 second. I got her.
Sure. Looking on the calendar, is this like around full moon or something?
Okay. Now,
Here you are.
There
Okay,
you go.
Commissioner Motto. I just asked, now that we're on the certificates of zoning compliance.
yeah,
Um,
I just couldn't, you couldn't hear me.
oh, okay.
Big computer that went dead as far as Zoom is concerned, and now I'm on my little tiny phone, which I don't,
Okay.
I'm not
So-
happy.
So what do you have
Anyway.
to say about J Grill?
Like that sign, it's on that building with the horrible liquor sign that's like 4 feet tall, you know, that giant, that little building there on the way into. But this sign we liked.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's taking over the set, the one on the left.
Yeah.
Oh, Mamma Mia's Pizza. Okay. All right. So there's your street view. Does any commissioner have any comments or questions for Commissioner Motto? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion for the sign application?
The only thing I'll add is they didn't indicate that they were keeping the awning. Did they? They just indicated they were putting a sign up, correct?
They
I
are
thought-
not keeping the awning.
Yeah, I thought they said they were taking the awning down. Yeah.
Yes, they are. Okay.
Okay. All right, so
Name is on it.
could you say that again, Commissioner Kelly?
The old name is on the awning, so it has to come down.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so how would the commission like to proceed on this particular application?
Make a motion, we accept it.
It's a motion to
Commissioner
approve.
Kelly?
Commissioner Kelly, is that a motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky will second.
Thank you. So on the motion made by Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Ticky. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0. The second one is Urban Greens, 410 Howe Avenue. Commissioner Motto, what's the recommendation for this particular application?
We had a couple of, a little bit of discussion about a couple of things. One was the logo, the drawing on the top, which of a salad bowl, I guess it is. And I didn't think it read well, and I thought it should be dropped. And the other thing, I think we all agreed that Connecticut didn't need to be there at all.
Okay,
So we'll see, you know, what everybody thinks about including the drawing. We weren't really strongly for or opposed to it as a group.
okay. Ms. Castro, is the applicant online with us tonight?
Yes, they are. I will promote them now.
Okay.
If the representative from Urban Greens can accept the panel request. Okay.
I guess
I am here.
option B is without the bowl.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So, could you please identify yourself for the record?
It's Sonia Kelly.
Okay. Hello, Sonia. I know that there was a very nice story in the Chilton Herald about your new venture, and I congratulate you on doing something like this. I think that you'll be a very good addition to the downtown business district.
Thank you so much.
So in any event, it's been the practice of the zoning commission to pretty much have straightforward signs without logos. And I'm going to ask the commission to remark on that. So we have option A with the bowl and option B without, but both of them do say Connecticut. So how would the commission like to proceed with this?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I agree with dropping the word Connecticut. I would be fine with the bowl. I think it's a minor kind of logo that we've seen in some other areas. So I would be fine with the logo, but if the commission felt that it was best to drop it, I am fine either way, but I have no problem with the logo staying.
This is Commissioner Kelly. I also have no problem with the logo. It indicates what's going on inside. We are in Connecticut, so we could drop that.
Okay, this is a series of storefronts downtown, right across from the Ripton, and you could see from the visual, Beauty Secret on one side and Essential Beauty on the other really don't have their signage treated that way. But, you know, I like to be consistent, but still, again, it may be useful to have that logo there. The one thing I do have to say, Sonia, whenever I was doing spell check, my spell check kept telling me Urban was spelled wrong.
I know. I'm still having a hard time with my phone doing the same thing. So
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah. So
I think the logo helps differentiate it from other potential sales of green, if you will, whether it be a plant shop or whether it be a smoke shop. I think the salad bowl tends to give a little bit of a better clue as to what's inside, although word of mouth is what you will probably thrive on.
for sure.
Okay. I understand.
Any other comments from the commission?
This is Commissioner Laskos. During the sign committee meeting, I think I was with Commissioner Motto saying remove the salad bowl, but if everybody's okay with it,
Mhm.
I'll be fine with it.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion for the sign application with the specifics?
Sure. This is Commissioner Ticky. So I have a motion for approval, removing the word Connecticut and with the inclusion of the salad bowl logo.
Okay. Very good.
Commissioner
Is there-
Kelly, I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kelly. So there's a motion from Commissioner Ticky to approve the sign without the word Connecticut, keeping in the salad bowl logo. So I'll do a roll call vote, and that was seconded by Commissioner Kelly. So Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0. So we look forward to your grand opening. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys
And
have a
thank
good
you.
evening.
Thank you for choosing Shelton as where to start your venture.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Motto, the third application is Fountain Square, 745 to 801 Bridgeport Avenue. It's for numerous signs. I just want to preface this by explaining one is along the wall adjacent to the main driveway entrance. 3 are on the stone wall that is on the corner of Bridgeport Avenue and Para Drive, and 1 is on the facade of the main building that is in the rear of the site. I just want to note too, for the record, that while the signs requested for approval can be acted upon, if the commission has no further comments, I want to remind the applicant that additional discussion of the overall signage plan has not taken place and is still required. So with those comments, Commissioner Motto, what's the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee?
Well, our discussion was basically the signs themselves, the graphics, the, type, everything was fine.
Mhm.
Weren't clear on exactly where these would be along that wall. Had asked for a site plan to show it more
Okay.
clearly so that we are not approving too many signs all facing in one direction, basically, was the
Okay, for
discussion.
this particular one, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, I just want to point out that this is where the fountains are supposed to be running. So I think they're trying to reinforce that. Does any commissioner have any comments on this particular portion of the sign
This was
app?
not included in the application when we reviewed it. That's why we were confused as to where it was going.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. Okay. Does this help with having this visual? I think I looked at it myself on a Google Street View, and I could tell that was the location, but it's good for confirmation purposes. So what's the feeling of the commission on this particular portion of the sign application?
Commissioner Kelly, I don't think we need the 3 signs or the 2 signs right in the front there, the picture that's on the screen right now. 1 in the address should be more than enough because you have one on the building, and you also have one coming in on the regular signs. Kind of overdoing it a little bit.
This
I
kind of,
think-
it's kind of the premier corner, and it sort of announces that you're now at Fashion Fountain Square, you know?
Yeah,
And you're not gonna see the sign that faces directly to Bridgeport Avenue as you come down Bridgeport Avenue.
But
It's
you're gonna
all-
see the monument sign.
Well, look from this
kind of in the
position.
distance.
yeah. No, I don't think it's obtrusive at all. I don't think it's too gaudy. I think it's done in good taste. If it was a big neon flashing sign, I'd have an issue with it. But I think it's appropriate. It's
Where is the monument sign going?
way down by the main entrance. It's
Okay,
the
and where is that
monument
other
that's
wall
there.
sign going? Is that other wall sign further down as well?
Yep, and that, I think the angle of that wall means people coming up the hill would see it. So,
The monument sign is right across from the other Fountain Square sign on the wall.
yes, it is. Yeah,
All right.
okay. So, Ms. Castro, can you get down the street more?
Don't believe the monument sign shows on the Google map.
I don't think the monument sign is, oh, it's not. up
Oh,
in
wait
the-
a minute. Maybe I'm looking at something.
No, all right, so she's turning the, okay.
Okay, I see where the other sign's going.
Yeah, it's on
It's
that,
not shown.
no. Okay, so there's the
All
post
right, yeah,
monument
okay.
sign. That's up and it's been up for a while. The other single Fountain Square sign would be on this stone wall.
Yeah,
then the
okay, so
building-
I'll
yeah.
take back what I said because I thought there was, the sign went from that wall. I guess it would be north, but it doesn't. There's more than that sign there. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
And what
Okay.
about further down? If you keep going south? Or
You
north,
keep-
I'm sorry, north.
North, if you keep going north, that's where the other three signs are, I believe.
No, no,
No,
If you keep
But
going
there
north,
is a-
that's the end of it.
there is a
There's no-
tall wall there as you approach it from the south side heading north as you approach it. I'm sorry, from the
right past
south.
Plaza Diner is what I think Commissioner Parkins are
Like,
referring to, the tall wall. Yeah.
At the end of the project where the wall is pretty high up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's no signage down there.
There's no sign down
No.
there.
Well,
No.
that's what I just want to make sure that they're not also planning for a sign there.
No,
That was never part of the original sign plan.
no. Ms. Castro, don't move don't move the map, but if everybody could look at the red area up on the top left corner, right in front of the trees, that's the rear building facade. That's where the other sign would go.
The main building, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So who has questions, comments, or concerns about this? Anyone?
No.
We're good now that we can see the whole layout, which is helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's done in good taste.
I think it's attractive. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is supposed to be lit at night. Ms. Castro, if you could go back to the specs that were submitted, I think it shows on the top left corner. Yeah, so it's LED. There you go. There's the building in the
Yeah,
back.
that's the big building, right?
Yep, and then scroll down and you could see there's the one that goes by the driveway. And further
Bridgeport
down,
Avenue Entrance, yes.
yeah, the next
And
one is.
I assume the monument sign will be lit too, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and then in that picture in front, behind the two trees in the center, you could see how very faintly in white it says Fountain Square again. That's the other location,
Mhm.
so. All right.
Just
Any,
in case you don't know that you're there.
exactly. Well, maybe if after eating a Panera, you sort of lose.
Well, I
track
mean,
of
don't
where
we
you
have
are.
regulations that say how many signs can face one road on a build, or is it just on a building?
Well, you remember, you're in the PDD, so.
I mean, so we've got the one on the building facing Bridgeport Avenue. We've got the monument sign on Bridgeport Avenue. We've got the Fountain Square facing Bridgeport Avenue on the entrance to the, and then we've got Fountain Square twice on the side with Parrot Drive. So we've got
Yeah,
one,
four
two,
signs.
three, four,
Yeah,
five,
four
six.
signs, yeah.
Yeah, but the only dominating signs are really the monument sign and the big sign on the large building in the back. The others are kind of roadside signage.
Mhm.
It's in reasonably good taste. I don't think they're.
Yeah,
over-
I mean, the signs are
Yeah.
nice looking, but again, I just think it's an overabundance of signs, but
You're absolutely right, because ultimately the majority of their business is going to come from residents of Shelton, and they're going to surely know they're there.
right, people know where Fountain Square is right now,
Absolutely. But
without the signage.
exactly.
And the fountains are gonna help. So is there any changes to this particular application anyone wants to suggest?
I'm good.
It's a big site. I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so is there a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll make the motion to approve as submitted.
Thank you, Commissioner Amato. Is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky will second.
Thank you, Commissioner Tiki. So on the motion to approve as submitted made by Commissioner Amato and seconded by Commissioner Tiki, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. And motion is passed 6-0, and I would ask staff to remind the applicant, the comprehensive signage plan needs to come in. Okay, next is an application from Jennifer and Lauren Van Bommel for 21 Providence Avenue in-law addition. According to paragraph 45.6.2 of our zoning regs, 2 parking spaces for the in-law apartment are required in addition to the spaces for the original residence. Staff did note that none were indicated in the material that had been provided, but the spaces can be indicated on a plot plan revision, which would show the property lines, the house, the addition, driveways, and other features. So as we review this application, the commission can keep that in mind. Ms. Castro, do you have any information for us?
I have our CEO Ron Baya online as well as the applicant.
Okay, so is there anything in particular, Mr. Baya, that you want to state?
Not at this point. I think Tony sent an email earlier. And even though he's 91, he's sharp as a tack. It meets everything according to our regs. It has 2 means of egress. It has the 1 kitchen. It's over 500 square feet, but not more than 900 square feet. Other than the 2 parking spaces, I don't see an issue with it from this office. No.
Okay, and there is space somewhere on the property for those 2 additional spaces to be positioned?
I believe so. I will let the applicant speak to that if they are here.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Ms. Castro, do you have a site plan you could put up?
Yes.
All right, so who has reviewed the layout as to make sure it's in conformance with what we have approved in the past? Mr. Panico, do you have any comments about this layout?
No, I was just a little bit surprised. We don't normally see in-law apartments with 2 bedrooms, but
Yeah, that I was thinking about that myself.
it fits within the space though. And I guess a lot of people like their own individual rooms, so.
Okay, what's on the next page?
I do like the way the layout is integrated with the main house though. It's very effective.
All right, and then on that 4th page? Okay, all right, so we're seeing side elevations. But is there there isn't a plot plan available?
Yes.
Okay, oh, there we go.
Can I, Ginny, can I just sit 1 second? If you look at the layout of the house, they have a half circle in the front for a driveway, and they have another driveway where the addition's going. It would be in front of the addition at this point from the street. So I'll let the applicant speak to it as far as where they want to create the 2 additional spaces.
Okay, well, thank you for pointing that out. So is the applicant available to make comments on this?
Hi, this is Jennifer. I'm here and I think our contractor is on as well.
Okay.
We have the circle driveway in the front, we have the driveway on the side, and we have street parking. So I'm pretty sure there's enough space for everybody that needs to park and what's required.
Mhm.
You
Okay, and
can't
who-
rely on street parking.
No, you cannot.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
what's available, yeah.
Okay, and who is your contractor? Is he available to speak?
Yeah, so it's Solomon Contracting, and John should be on here.
Okay.
Let me
Did he
see.
prepare this particular layout, or was it a
No,
engineer, architect?
It was an architect, and then
Okay.
this that's on the screen right now was done by Lewis Associates.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Does the commission have any issues with the application as submitted? We can do something where it's approved contingent on the plot plan revision being submitted to show the exact space for the 2 parking spaces that are required.
Pardon me, I just unmuted. I'm John with Solomon Contracting. If you all could hear me, good evening.
We can, John, would you do me a favor and spell your last name?
Yes, ma'am. It's Danise, and I am a project manager with Solomon Contracting. We are the general contractor for the Van Bommels.
Okay.
And just for the record, the front, there is a front cover page that does show in the existing driveway where 2 cars will fit in that vicinity there, and the curved driveway in the front, while I believe there's a notation it's about 16 feet wide, it does run past it does run the same distance as the house now. So without having a dimension or distance of an average size car, more than confident that a minimum of 2, if not 3 vehicles would fit there, and 3 vehicles will be able to fit comfortably in the driveway.
Are we talking about tandem parking on that?
So in the curved driveway, it is a half circle. So there you go. Right. So you can, that's a great picture, actually. So you can see, with that half circle where 1 is sitting now, that there is absolutely room for 2 more. And then where the red vehicle currently is, part of that space is going to be taken up with the addition, but there is still an area where that car can come in and turn left, and then there can be at least 1, if not 2 vehicles behind it.
Okay. Ms. Castro,
the
go
main
down the
driveway.
street a little bit more.
And just to add,
There you
I don't
go.
know if it makes a difference or not, but it is obviously being used. The addition is being constructed as an in-law suite. There's multiple, it is all family members that are living there. So it's not like it's a rental situation, a typical rental situation where, it could be more challenging to have to move a car if need be.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole point is not to have to rely on parking on the street.
Yeah, I believe that, as you can see comfortably, you should be able to have 3 vehicles in the straighter driveway and 3 vehicles in the front half circle.
Well, if necessary, would part of that curved wall behind the mailboxes be removed?
I think it's wide enough that it doesn't need to be, but it's something that if we need to address that to make the commission happy, I'm sure we'd be more than willing and happy to do that.
Looks like a raised wall there. It's a
Yeah.
raised wall. It's not a flat surface.
It is a slightly raised wall. Up near the mailbox is a lot less than as you get down towards the covered entry area that you currently see to the left of the red vehicle.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think that if you're able to park between the addition and the property line, if there's room for a car there and a car that's perpendicular to the house, plus one behind it in tandem, you'll very easily get 3 cars there. So,
Yes, sir, I would agree with your evaluation.
right. All right, any comments, questions or concerns from the commission on this?
Can you go, this is Commissioner Laskos, can you go back to the site plan? I think it was
Okay.
sheet 3 or 4.
So 12 and a half feet wide on that driveway on the right. Commissioner Laskos, was there anything in particular?
The actual elevation sheet, it was page 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. Must have been
from elevation.
Oh, okay.
front, there's the side.
Yeah, I was just looking at that,
You could put a car right there and another car in here.
Mm,
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's-
just looking at the, there's almost like a cricket roof that's going between the main house and the roof line, probably gonna collect snow in there.
Shown in the right elevation.
Yeah,
Where it says optional.
I guess you could see it from the front view and the
Yep.
the rear.
Yes. You call that a cricket roof?
That's the normal term that they use for that little piece of roofing in there.
Oh, okay.
That whole roof, just from a building perspective, that cricket, duly noted, it is the proper tie-in, number one, and we can definitely ice and water it completely, which in a small cricket like that would be done regardless. And we could also adjust the pitch of it to help any concerns that you might have.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from any other commissioners? So is there any commissioner who wants to make a motion on this particular application?
Commissioner
Commissioner-
Parkins will make a motion.
Sure, I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, and Commissioner Parkins, that's a motion to approve?
Yes, motion to approve.
Is it contingent on the plot plan revision, or are we satisfied that
I'm satisfied that they've got, from the
Okay.
contractor's viewpoint and Tony's viewpoint, there's plenty of parking there.
okay, so there's a motion to approve.
I would simply want to be assured that there will be a parking space remaining along the right property line, parallel to the addition, so that a car can be parked there and still be able to get in and out of the place.
Okay, so to submit a plot plan is,
As long as we know what's going to happen.
yeah.
There's more than enough room to do it, and there's existing pavement there anyhow, so.
Mhm. But Mr. Pamko, are you saying that it would be more beneficial for the applicant to submit that plot plan, to have it on file?
If we want confirmation of it, yes.
Mhm.
That's,
this-
quite frankly, that's the most important parking space of all, so that if a car is going to be there and it's going to be there all day, you're not interfering with the rest of the operation of the site. Cars can come and go, that car can stay there.
Mhm.
Is that something that the general contractor can provide, or does she have to go back to the architect for it to change?
Either one.
May I comment? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I would just make a notation on the plot plan that shows it, and that's it.
Yeah, we can definitely have the surveyor notate that on an amended plot plan for the committee's, liking, to ensure that that is available the way you would like it.
So we can just make the approval contingent upon proof of parking being provided to
Confirmation is the word.
confirmation
Mhm.
That's all.
Okay,
Staff should be able
to
to work it out.
staff.
Yes.
Yeah, I can make sure, commissioners, I'd like, if we could have that, on an as-built, that would be great.
That would be
Okay.
very much appreciated, doing it as an as-built.
Mhm. Okay, so that was Mr. Baya that had made those comments, followed by Mr. Denise. So Commissioner Parkins, are you amending your motion to include that?
Yes, I'll approval contingent upon an
Okay.
as-built showing the parking is there, submitted to
Okay.
staff.
Okay, very good. And was there someone seconding it that I didn't recognize?
Sure, Commissioner Ticky.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Tiki. So on the motion to approve contingent on the as-built submitted to staff, that was made by Commissioner Parkins and seconded by Commissioner Tiki. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion to approve is passed 6-0. Okay.
Thank you
and,
very much for
um,
your time this evening.
You're very welcome. So staff will be tracking that to make sure that that is adhered to. All right, next on the agenda are 3 applications that just need to be accepted for review and for staff at some point to set public hearings. The first one is Aquarian Water Company of Connecticut at 505 Huntington Street, Assessors Map 26, Lot 1, in an R1 zone for a special exception application. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll make that motion.
And is there a second?
This is Commissioner Lascos. I'll second it.
Thank you. So on the motion from Commissioner Kelly and seconded by Commissioner Lascos. Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0. So the public hearing for application 2305 will be set by staff and will appear on the agenda of an upcoming meeting. Next is application 2307, Huntington Village, Dominic Thomas for Huntington Village LLC, Assessors Map 73, portion of Lot 80, for modification of PDD number 97 and approval of final site development plans. Is there a motion to accept for review and set for staff to set a public hearing?
I'll make the motion to accept for review and set a public hearing.
Thank you,
I'll
Commissioner
second
Motto.
that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kelly, for the second. So on the motion made by Commissioner Motto, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0. And the public hearing for this application will be set by staff and will appear on the agenda of an upcoming meeting. Okay, the third one is application 2308, 390 Shelton Avenue. Chris Russo for BWiz LLC at 390 Shelton Avenue, Assessors Map 89, Lot 29 in an R1 zone for a planned development district on 5 acres for 16 detached dwelling units. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
I'll second Commissioner Motto.
Okay, thank you. So on the motion made by Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Motto. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion has passed 6-0. And the public hearing for application 2308 will be set by staff and will appear on the agenda of an upcoming meeting. Next is the public portion of the agenda. If there's anyone from the public who would like to comment on an item not on the agenda, please use Zoom's raise your hand feature or dial *9 on your phone at this time to be acknowledged.
We have one on, Mr. Tom Harbinson.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harbinson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Planning and Zoning Commission. I know I'm not supposed to speak to anything on the agenda, but I believe 2 of the items that you had where you accepted them for review may have been inappropriate.
Why is that?
The first one, for application 2307 is for approval of final site development plans for PDD number 97. That was approved in 2019, December 29th. And according to your regulations 34.13, the final site development plans are supposed to be done within 6 months of the initial concept development plans.
Okay,
unless there is
well,
an extension.
Mr. Harbinson, as you said, comments should only be for things that are not on the agenda. So I would suggest that if you have any concerns, then put it in writing and submit it to the administrator for him to pursue.
Understood.
Okay,
I won't comment then on any specific application. I will just comment that PDDs are meant to be done under regulation in an area where there is a special development area or where there is a transition between alternative zones. I don't think that occurred for an application for tonight.
Okay, so noted. And through Ms. Castro, I'll ask that when the administrator returns, that be looked into.
I just know that your time is very valuable for public hearings. And as an example, I would not make a proposal for a hotel on my residential lot property. And so if there are public hearings that are being scheduled that are taking up your valuable time, which should be in a more appropriate time, just want to bring that to your attention. But
Okay,
you can carry on. Thank you.
thank you. Ms. Castro, is there anybody else from the public who's indicated that they are either raising their hand or dialing *9?
No.
Okay, then we will move on to other business. And the first is a request to release the $25,000 bond for 502 Howe Avenue. Ms. Castro, do you have any comments on this request?
The project is complete. The city engineer recommended for a bond release.
Okay, city engineer has made a recommendation to release the bond. Okay, is any questions for Ms. Castro? Okay, if not, is there a motion to this regard from any commissioner?
Commissioner, will motion.
Okay, was that Commissioner Tiki? Who was that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. All right, so there's a motion to approve the release of the $25,000 bond for 502 Howe Avenue from Commissioner Tiki. Is there a second?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll second it.
Thank you. So on the motion, Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion has passed 6-0. Next is a discussion of 2 possible amendments to the zoning regs. The first is for the use of native plants in landscaping for commercial projects. Commissioners were sent comments prepared by Commissioner Matto on this topic, titled Why It Matters, and guidelines drafted by the town of Wilton. I believe the overall intent of any guidelines would be to encourage and or mandate the use of native plantings in all instances. I thank Commissioner Motto for proposing this, and that any guidelines would be to require the submission, review, and approval of a landscape plan that would be in conformity. Are there any comments from the commission about this possible amendment?
Could I'd like to make,
Sure.
I'd like to comment. Yeah. First, I want to thank the commission over the years have indulged me in my recommendations about native plants. But I'd like to see that formalized and made clear to applicants ahead of time. And so that recommendation would outlive my participation on the commission, however long or short that may be. And also, the couple of pages that I produced there, the concepts that I'm trying to get at are about complexity, and the concepts are kind of circular. So it's really not just about the birds, but I thought y'all like birds, So we'll start there just to say what the effect of native plants can be. The other thing is, if you were to drive around with me, and I'd welcome any of you if you want to go on a little tour with me, I can show you what's going on in terms of non-native invasive plants. And once you see it, it's kind of horrifying. I wish I didn't know now what's going on. It's terrible to see it. But anyway, we're not going to put the genie back in the bottle. And a couple of authors that I referenced are people who have made the point that it can make a difference to do things on a small scale, kind of right outside your door or in these kind of projects. It makes a difference to add native plants, even though we're not going to kind of regenerate the whole landscape out there. And the other thing I'd like to say is if there are any aldermen out there listening or thinking about Wilton regulations, specifically are for town properties, and just wondering if there's more interest in doing this, able to work together.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems that some of the invasive plants are ones that you would never expect to consider. I mean, I think a lot of people have heard about the mile-a-minute plant that took root here, and it's really a mess in certain parts of the country. But Commissioner Amato, what were some of like the common invasive shrubs, for instance, that people use to landscape? Is it like rhododendron or something or other that?
They're not invasive. There is a native rhododendron that's not really popular for landscape planting because the flowers aren't as big and the plant. But those plants are not invasive. They don't spread. So there's to consider. But burning bush is a plant that used to be put on highways and byways by the state of Connecticut. If you particularly see it in the fall when they turn red, areas of woods that are completely invaded with burning bush. Another popular shrub that's used in landscaping. Again, I've seen parts of people's property where there's virtually nothing else. A lot of the invasive plants have not been introduced on purpose, but others have been to very bad effect. They really degrade the landscape. They really take over. They don't allow any other plants to exist just about. So
What they're basically doing is they're suffocating the desired kinds of plants that are really used to be the food sources for certain animals and such.
Yes, yeah. So I included that. This is new information to me, but oaks, for example, native oaks are host to literally hundreds of insects. And it's not just that the insects, all of those insects have other connections to other critters and plants in the environment. So it's a very complex web that we hardly have any understanding of. But some of the popular landscape trees that are decorative would host zero. And so they're almost like furniture in terms of the environmental impact of them. They photosynthesize, but they don't really have any other connections within the environment. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get across.
Okay, very good. Any commissioners have any comments, questions, or concerns of Commissioner Amato?
So I understand the need to memorialize this as a not just a guidance document, because a guidance document, people can either pay attention to it or they can't, right? It's like, we can make the suggestion, but that doesn't mean that they have to do that. So, if this is something that we have serious concern about, then maybe somehow we should weave it into our regulations in terms of, our larger developments or, subdivisions and that sort of thing where we have control over it. We don't have control over people who rip out whatever shrubbery they have and, want to put in burning bush, that we don't have any control over that, but a regular homeowner, but we do over PDDs and subdivisions.
Any place that we mandate the submission of a landscape plan.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to go about that technically, so I'm relying on Tony,
We can put something together.
staff.
Yeah,
She would-
and staff can be directed to do some additional research on what other communities have done. If you Google this kind of a topic, there's a lot that comes up, and it's eye-opening because different parts of the country have different concerns. So in the dry desert area, they have different, their approach is a little different as to what's on the list versus what we have here up in New England. But staff could be directed to assemble some proposed regulations to consider for adoption and then report back to the commission, maybe in a month's time or so. And we have a further discussion and set a public hearing and
Yeah, maybe they can work with Elaine in terms of her recommendations for such native
yeah, absolutely.
plants and, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And saying when I get done, I'm gonna start in on the lawns.
Well, you'll be joining HVA in that regard for sure, but perhaps if we have more shrubbery and trees that provide insects for the birds, people won't be so prone to put out all these bird feeders that do nothing but attract bears. So,
Yeah.
and you know, we're desensitizing the bears so that, you know, when they finally, you know, just become brave and walk onto somebody's deck or something, they're being shot and killed. So not their fault.
That's a good point. The
Yeah.
other thing about the birds, many species of birds do not eat birdseed.
Right.
Yeah, so there's been a huge decline in birds just since 1970, like a 30% decline overall in numbers, and to say nothing about the decrease in individual species.
Interesting.
Okay.
Actually,
I know last year I let my husband cut the grass until all the dandelions were done. So.
Good.
Commissioner Kelly, what were you gonna say?
so actually, I never realized the complexity of the food chain with our native plants
Mhm.
till I read this.
Yep.
Oh, I just read somewhere that 20% of Connecticut is lawn, which is
Can you repeat that?
20% of the land in Connecticut is lawn,
Oh, okay.
which is
Wow.
shocking. Yeah.
Well, it's being covered up with solar panels now. So.
What's the replacement? What's the replacement for lawn?
More trees and shrubs. No, I don't have anything against lawns per se, but a lawn is what happens. Oh, but a lawn that we've all been conditioned to have, which is a monoculture and perfectly green, is what you have when you mow, add water, add chemicals, add fertilizers, add pesticides, add herbicides. That's
right.
have that lawn. If you simply mow bare ground, you will have a lawn, but it'll be full of dandelions and violets and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guilty as charged.
I guess I always had a good lawn then.
Yeah.
All right.
All I did is.
Yeah,
cut
but
the
then all
grass.
those chemicals get into our waterways, right?
That's right.
I never used any of that.
And as a dog owner, my husband walks the dog and he watches for the flags that a landscape company has come by and they have put things down and they put the flags up to warn not to walk on it. And then, you know, they lick their paws. I don't want my animal or any animal to get sick. So that, you know, there's a ripple effect on that. So, all right. Anything else, Commissioner Moore?
I would just say I'm pleased. I haven't heard anybody, you know, really voicing any objections. So I appreciate it, all the support.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good approach for sure. So is there a consensus that we follow that plan, that we leave it up to or direct staff to do some additional research and to assemble some proposed regs and then come back to the commission?
I would be in favor of that.
I would as well.
Okay.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Not hearing anything to the against that, then I'll staff is being directed to do what I proposed, and we would like just to get a status at our May 10th meeting and see what what has been developed and what you've been able to come up with, and see what kind of direction that we can need to go in. I don't want this to turn into this big major project, but there is a lot out there to absorb and to see how it relates to our local community. And I definitely would reiterate Commissioner Parkin's comment as to for staff to work with Commissioner Motto to get some background information and some details as to what are appropriate plannings. Okay, all right. Next is a discussion on regulations for short-term rentals. Short-term rentals can be defined different ways. I've seen it put as a furnished living space or a dwelling unit or a portion of a unit that is rented for short periods of time. And what I have found out that in doing a little research on this, that depending on the municipality, the short period of time can be a few days to no more than 30 days to an extended time period of weeks. In our current regs, Schedule A, line 6 does permit, quote, the letting of rooms and or furnishing of board in a dwelling unit subject to the additional standards of Section 45, end quote. In Section 45.4, room and board, there are specific requirements for the letting of rooms and or furnishing of board in a dwelling unit for which a certificate of zoning compliance is required. There are definitely pros and cons of short-term rentals, but there can be abuses, and it would be preferable for services of this type to be self-regulated. But sometimes that doesn't happen, and I do think it's maybe time that the commission takes a little bit of time to examine what we have now and perhaps come to a determination that those offering the service are definitely need to be registered and they are following fire and safety codes. Mr. Byatt is still on the line here, I see. And I'm just going to ask him to comment on what he had found when he was affiliated with the, I think it was the New Haven Housing Authority.
No, it was when I was in New Canaan.
New Canaan?
We had a lot of Airbnbs in New Canaan based on the proximity to New York City. And we had a train station, of course, and people would use various residences that would rent rooms or a room to stay in the suburbs, but, enjoy the New York City experience. I've also took it upon myself to call several winter locations up in Vermont and New Hampshire to see how those zoning people were handling those matters when it came to Airbnbs or short-term rentals, however you want to categorize it. And not many people would want to touch it. It's kind of manpower, I think, was one of the biggest things that came up when you talk to people about this. A lot of municipalities were waiting for the state to come up with something maybe to regulate it. But unfortunately, it may come down to each municipality and how they want to handle it going forward.
What was your experience down around Southern Connecticut?
Oh, and so, well, when you're in New Haven, when I worked there, we had several instances of illegal apartments. You'd find that kind of stuff around colleges. A lot of landlords would take advantage of kids, give them affordable rent. You rent out a raised ranch, a basement, and create 4 rooms down there. And now you have a bunch of issues, not only with zoning matters, but you have safety issues and you have building code issues with makeup, air, and different variety of things, and jeopardizing the health of young men and women to get rent, to earn an income, extra income. So
what is it, that makeup beer that you refer to?
That's what the furnace, there's when you don't have makeup airs, what a furnace needs to properly run.
Okay.
I'm not an actual furnace expert, but your carbon monoxide issues in basements when you put people down there. Years ago, we didn't have all the carbon monoxide / detectors we have now. Now we have the combo units, and after, of course, it takes tragic accidents to all of a sudden, to come up and develop different things for safety purposes. Those are a lot different than what I think you're referring to as far as short-term rentals.
Right.
We're not a college town. I haven't encountered in 7 months here a lot of those issues, but you do see them in college towns, especially, New Haven had Southern Connecticut, and University of New Haven, which sat in West Haven, but bordered New Haven. So you had 2 colleges there. You wouldn't find that with the Yale students, obviously, but the other colleges, yes.
Mhm. All right, one of the things I want to be able to review is whether that short-term rentals are suitable for all the zones in Shelton. Is there a cap that needs to be placed on the number of licenses issued? I don't know. So I would recommend that I appoint Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Ticky, and myself to be a special subcommittee to review this topic and our regs to determine if we need to recommend changes to the commission. We have things already on the books, but is it time for us just to make sure that there isn't a gap in there that we should address? So
Well, I think one of those gaps may be, we're not necessarily a destination, vacation destination area, but there are things happening around us, such as the music festivals that are being held down in Bridgeport in very close proximity to us. This Great River Water Club, whatever that may turn into, if there's sort of rowing things. And so that could cause this to be a destination area where groups of people rent on Airbnb. And so I think I am aware of some towns, albeit not in Connecticut, but on the river, that have put regulations in place because some of the concerns of the surrounding residents were large parties being held at these houses. The owner of the house not being present. So, there could be regulations where either that person that owns the present or has to have a designated person that if there are to be any kind of issues, that there's somebody local to call on file. So, there's those kind of things that to be considered in addition to just maybe illegal apartments or room and board. So
absolutely. Any other commissioner have any questions, comments, or concerns about this?
Do you have
Nope.
a mind for looking into this, or
Say that again.
do you have a time frame in mind for getting to the?
Oh, I would say a couple, we can sit and chat, the three of us, and see what situation is, and ask for staff to weigh in on it, look at some of the research that I've come across, that I've held on to. So we should be able to do something within a couple months, I think, just to say, okay, this is what we found out so far.
Yeah, like a lot of to look at, a lot of different angles to this.
It was interesting that Portland, Oregon the city partnered with Airbnb and created some initiative where Airbnb would manage the rentals, of course, but also collect the tax revenue for a room and board tax, I guess, on behalf of the city, and turn it back over to the city. I think it was Philadelphia that said, no, we don't want anything like this at all. But apparently, according to the document I found on the internet, they were turning a blind eye to it. They weren't going to enforce it. So,
As Commissioner Lascos, I'm also thinking about the definition of short term. I mean, well, the departments downtown could have roommates. We don't have anything to do with that. And
well, that's a sublease. If they're on a lease, they have to report somebody else living in the apartment to the landlord.
well, I'm sure it doesn't always happen.
Wow.
And anybody could rent their house out for a month.
sure,
So what's short term?
exactly.
2 weeks, a week, a day?
It has to be defined, and
Yeah.
it can be all over the place. So we'll sit and talk and come back to the commission with.
I'd be glad to share the regulations of the town that I was referencing, because they did put regulations in place.
Yep. That'd be great. If anybody does have any input on that, just forward it along to me and I'll share it with the Commissioner Kelly and Commissioner Ticky. Okay, next, let's move on to comments from the chair and the subcommittee chairs. I just want to mention that yesterday morning I attended the full board meeting of the Shelton Economic Development Commission. Here's some comments that were made by Paul Grimmer regarding Star Pin at 267 Canal Street. The approval of funds for the city share of the costs for the environmental cleanup of the site is on the Board of Aldermen's agenda for tomorrow night's meeting. Grant money has been received from the US EPA and the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. If the funds from the city are approved, a pre-construction meeting is scheduled to be held by the end of April. A date to start the cleanup is to be determined, with completion, excuse me, to occur no later than 120 days following. And also regarding the canal across the street, a small town economic assistance program grant has been received by the SPZC. The city has authorized funds and the mayor has the contract to sign to hire BL companies. Houstonic Riverwalk at 223 Canal Street, a small town economic assistance program grant has been received. The city has authorized funds, and the next step is for Tate and Associates to provide design and bid specification support. And that's for the next section to be continued behind that particular building. And then regarding the Canal Street reconstruction, Worcester Street rail crossing, an application for a Connecticut Community Challenge grant was submitted, and the date for applicants to be notified of whether or not the grant has been permitted or not is June 30th. So that's coming down the pike. So that's all I have. Commissioner Kelly, do you have anything?
Not at this time, no.
And Commissioner Amato?
No, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Castro, any comments from the staff?
None at this time.
Okay, Mr. Panico?
No, not on this particular subject. I just wanted to take a moment though and thank everybody for the recognition that you've granted me. I really appreciate it. Totally unexpected, but thank you.
That's what we
the
like
only
to
thing I
do.
wanted to add is I did enjoy the fact something that most planners don't get to do, which is have a relationship with a municipality for that longer period of time and begin to see the fruition of some of your thoughts of 20, 30, and 40 years ago.
Mhm.
Most times you're in there, you do a job and you're gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's been very rewarding in that respect. And things that come to mind are the Route 8 development and our Constitution Boulevard corridor and ultimate implementation.
Mhm. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bridgeport Avenue, as we know it now, had been Route 8, and there was a thought of just expanding it in that location.
As you know, there's lots of areas where the right of way is very wide. The state over the years had been acquiring more and more right of way.
Mhm.
The idea that they were going to improve in place Bridgeport Avenue.
Yeah, and luckily clear and other heads prevailed, and they managed to get it so that it was a brand new expressway.
I joke in my own head at times when I think about more than one occasion that I had conversations with our prior corporation counsel, John Welch, talking about the implementation and development of the Route 8 corridor, and he kept telling me, "Don't worry, we'll never see it." I'm fortunate that I hope to be able to see it.
Yes, for sure.
Let's hope the same thing happens with the extension of Constitution Boulevard, Tony.
Mhm.
I think it will. I think it will. We spent a lot of time many years ago when some of that development on the north side of Soundview took place, and worked with the developer, pulling hair at times to get the right of way established so that we're sure that we had that corridor and that it wasn't going to be blocked by a great big subdivision.
That's right.
And we
Yep.
were successful.
Mhm. If commissioners have the opportunity, you can drive up Blacks Hill Road and Orcott Street and get to the crest of the area where they're excavating underneath, and you can get an idea of how that road is going to be positioned there. So, any further comments from anyone?
Oh,
Well,
well
I-
deserved, Tony, well deserved.
Well,
Yes.
Kudos.
thank you.
Funny, not the other way around, right?
I just,
What's-
if I could just say one thing.
Sure, Mr.
Commissioner.
Byer, go ahead.
Yeah, Tony, I've never met you, but I worked in New Haven for over a quarter century, and I have seen people do 50 years, but not 60. And that's a staggering feat. And congratulations. Wow, that is some remarkable feat. Congratulations to you.
I thank you, Ron.
And it's in a kind of area that creates no stress whatsoever.
No, of course not.
So, all right. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments or changes for the February 8th, 2023 minutes?
I'm sorry to say this, but on I can't figure out what we approved or didn't approve. These on
Report
the
of the minutes?
sorry, yeah, on page 7, the continuation of 22-17, we get down to the end, there was a motion made, but it's a motion to approve. What was the motion to approve? I just couldn't figure that out. And the same thing with following.
Which was the first agenda item that you were mentioning?
Yeah, under old business on page 6, it starts application 22-17 PGD 1. So we get down to the bottom and we made but what was the motion? Because there was
Is it after the paragraph that says Mr. Panico inquired if the commission would like him to draft. a
Yeah,
favorable- Okay,
right. What's the motion?
okay,
we-
but the next
Keep-
sentence.
Keep scrolling down, keep
Yeah,
scrolling
it
down.
says motion made by Commissioner Tiki, seconded by Commissioner Kelly to table.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, never mind. All right. I read that 8 times. But the same with this next one.
Okay, S and G.
Were we approving that?
No, that was another to table. Scroll, Ms. Castro.
Table
can you
without
scroll down?
It
presence.
also was a table.
Yeah,
I'm
that
going
was-
to.
The table.
I'm
Yeah, you
done.
made the motion, Commissioner Amato.
Never mind.
It's okay. That was a long meeting. We didn't finish until just before 9:30.
You must
Yeah,
have been looking at it on your phone.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
looking at everything on my phone. It's making me
Yeah.
crazy.
Hard to see that.
Don't put that in the minutes.
No.
I have no corrections to the minutes for
Yeah.
February 8th, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll
so that's
second it.
a motion to approve as submitted, Commissioner Parkins? As submitted?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner
I'll
Kelly, was
second it,
that you?
Commissioner
Okay,
Kelly.
very good. So on the motion to approve the February 8th minutes as submitted, Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion has passed 6-0. The March 8th minutes were prepared and submitted, but we can't find them on the website. I
They're
looked
not
at-
on the website.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
Right,
So
they're
we're gonna table those until our next meeting. How about March 15th? Does anyone have any comments or changes for that set of minutes?
I have to confess, I didn't get to reading those yet.
That's fine. If anyone else is in the same boat, we can certainly table those as well. What's the commission's preference?
I also did not read them thoroughly. I just really glanced over them. So if there's an opportunity to table, I would rather table.
Okay, so Commissioner Parkins, you want to make a motion to table?
Unless there's enough commissioners to pass it that were present.
No, I'd rather everyone pass.
All right, I'll make a motion to table the minutes for March 15th.
Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Commissioner Kelly.
so on the motion to table, Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion to table the March 15 minutes has been approved by vote of 6-0.
How did you
We
dispose of
vote
February
to
8th?
table, we should vote to table them March 8th as well then.
We did. I thought we did.
No,
You
we
voted
didn't.
Well, the chair just declared it was tabled, but
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
we
So-
should, I would motion to table the March 8th minutes as well.
You
Very
have
good.
to undo the vote to approve then.
No, these are
we-
ones we didn't take any action on at all.
Oh,
We did February, we approved February 8th, but March 8th we're not on the website. So
okay.
I just went by onto the March 15th one. So Commissioner Tiki is correct that we should have done an action on it. So he's made a motion to table. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Commissioner Kelly.
Okay, so on the motion to table, made by Commissioner Tiki, second by Commissioner Kelly. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, and that vote to table passed by a vote of 6-0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, seeing that there's no other item on the agenda, the chair declares this evening's meeting is adjourned as of 7:26 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Good
Good
night.
Good night.